In this English lesson, we are going to talk about some of the customs that are popular in Taiwan and some of the customs that are popular in the United States. And I think it's important when you're learning another language to also learn the culture. I will be speaking clearly and hopefully slowly so that you will be able to listen to what I'm saying, and that is definitely going to help you improve your English. Anytime Taiwan is mentioned, I think it can get political, but this is just one friend talking to another friend. I don't want it to feel like it's political at all. This lesson is about people, not governments. And it is the opinion of two people. We will be talking about Americans and Taiwanese in general. So of course, there will be exceptions to most of these customs. This is just what we have experienced in our life. With that said, let's talk about how this lesson came to be. A couple weeks ago, YaWen, she's a channel member, and she happened to win a contest I had for a half an hour chat with me. In that chat, she could practice her speaking. We could just get to know each other a little bit better. After that chat, she sent me a list of 8 things that commonly occur in Taiwan, and she was wondering why they don't happen here in the United States. Since she is a channel member, she has access to the Discord server. She can send me text messages, things like that. And today I am going to go through that list and talk about how I think Americans do certain things. First on the list, YaWen says Americans take showers in the morning while Taiwanese take showers at night. Again, we're talking very general. Of course, there are Americans who take their showers at night and vice versa, meaning Taiwanese who take their showers in the morning. But let me talk a little bit about showers in the United States because I think her number 2 actually has something to do with showers as well. I would agree with her statement. I do think that most, not all, but most Americans do take their showers in the morning. I know I do. If I am going to work, I need to take a shower in the morning. I need to wash my hair, even though I don't have a lot of it left. I need to wash the sleepies out of my eyes. Sleepies, that's what we call that little crusty junk that gets stuck in the corner of your eye after you sleep for a long time. Sleepies. So I like taking a shower to get the sleepies out of my eyes. But my job is rather clean. I'm a teacher, if you didn't know that. I can imagine that if I worked at a place where I often got dirty, at the end of the day, I would take my shower at night. I think a lot has to do with what you do for a job, and that will depend on when you take a shower. But if I'm being completely honest, especially during the summer, I will take multiple showers throughout the day. I might take 2 or 3, 1 in the morning to wake me up, 2 after I work out during the day, and maybe a third, it's rare, but maybe a third before I go to sleep just to relax a little. If I do take 3 showers in one day, those showers will be really quick, 2 or 3 minute showers. If there are any doctors out there watching, or dermatologists, that's what we call doctors who focus on skin, I am sure those doctors will say, Brent, you are showering too much. And I think I am, but it just feels so good to wash all of the dirt and grease and sleepies when you take a shower. Number 2, YaWen says the shower head in the United States is fixed and the shower head in Taiwan is movable, or we might also call it adjustable. She also says, I can't figure out how the toddler takes a shower with a fixed shower head. And in my shower, our shower head is not fixed. It's actually adjustable. And a lot of times parents will get a little plastic tub or a little bucket, put that in the sink and then wash their babies there until they get big enough to take a bath. A lot of parents will give their toddlers a bath instead of a shower just because sometimes that water rushing from the faucet can be a little scary. Number 3, YaWen says most Americans eat at home and many Taiwanese eat out. 3 meals a day. I'll just take my family, for example. We probably eat out too often by American standards. We probably eat out maybe 3 times a week, and that's for dinner, and that can get a little expensive. It is much cheaper to eat at home here in the United States, and we try to do that as often as possible. A lot of Americans will eat out for breakfast. They might stop at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, get their coffee and maybe a breakfast sandwich. But I do think it would be rare here in the United States for an American family to eat out 3 times a day. I don't think that happens very often. And besides, eating out is often so unhealthy in the United States, it's not really a good idea. Number 4, this is a pet peeve for me. And if something is a pet peeve for you, that means it bugs you, but it might not bug other people, or even you think it's strange that you are bothered by this. A pet peeve. Because I play the drums, and sometimes I am in meetings with other teachers. I know one teacher has a pet peeve whenever somebody taps on the table, and I am guilty. I will often tap, and I know that bothers her, and I try not to do it, yet I sometimes do it. It's just a habit. YaWen says Americans walk into the house with shoes on. This is a bit of a pet peeve for me. I don't really like it. But YaWen says Taiwanese take their shoes off before entering. And I know if there's anybody from Russia, I know this is a big thing. I've heard it from some of my Russian friends that you must take your shoes off before entering the house. That is not always true in the United States, even though I wish it was true. There are so many dirty things on the ground that your shoe picks up. A lot of Americans love dogs, and dogs often go to the bathroom on the grass. Sometimes the owners don't pick it up, and you might step on it later. It's pretty gross to wear your shoes inside, I think, but a lot of Americans don't feel this way. Just depends on the house. Often when I enter a house, I'll say, hey, do you want me to take my shoes off, or do you want me to leave them on? And I would say it's 50-50. When guests come to my house and they ask me, I'll say, yeah, if you don't mind, could you take your shoes off? But some guests will not ask, and oftentimes they will walk through your house with their shoes on. And sometimes it's a little rude to ask them to take their shoes off. Yeah, so big difference between Taiwan and the United States there. So in the comments, do you take your shoes off when you go into a house? Is that the custom in your country? I'd love to know. Number 5, YaWen says Americans smile at strangers, while in Taiwan, they avoid eye contact with strangers. Yeah, in the United States, it is very common to just it's a fake smile, but it's just to let that other person know, like, hey, how you doing? I don't mean any harm to you. I'm a nice person. I will often ask people I don't know at all, like, hey, how you doing? And they say, oh, fine. How are you? And I'll say something like, oh, fine. Thanks for asking. When you see a stranger on the street in the United States and you ask them how they are doing, it's just something very casual. You don't really want them to tell you if they're having a bad day. So most of the time, Americans will just lie if they're having a bad day, say like, oh, everything's fine, and then just keep walking. But yes, I think most Americans often will smile at strangers, and definitely in my part of the country, if someone doesn't smile back at you, you're wondering like, oh, what's wrong with them? Number 6, American girls have to change their family name after marriage Taiwanese girls keep their family name after marriage. And that is true. Like my wife, her name is Jamie. You may have met her. She did change her last name. We got married in 2002. Ooh, had to think about that for a second. I hope Jamie's not watching. Yeah, 2002. But even then, Jamie and I had the discussion, do you want to take my last name? Do you want to keep your last name? A lot of couples who are getting married today in the United States, they might keep their last name. The woman might keep her last name, or they might go to a hyphenated name. Hyphen is that little line in between two words. And some men will choose also to have a hyphenated last name. Things are changing in the United States. I still think the majority or most of the women who get married these days will take their husband's name, but it is becoming less common. Number 7, students in the United States go outside for recess, while students in Taiwan stay inside for recess. That is true. At my school, we do have recess, and that is when students will go outside, like YaWen says, play around a little bit, just talk. There is no education going on at recess. Like literally recess means a break. And if the weather is nice, students are expected to go outside. Where I live, it gets very cold in the winter. I mean, sometimes it's raining, but when it's cold outside, students stay inside. The cutoff temperature for going outside is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. If it is below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, we stay inside. Number 8, 7-Eleven. For number 8, YaWen's talking about the difference between 7-Eleven in the United States and 7-Eleven in Taiwan. Here in the United States, it's pretty much like a gas station, like a convenience store. You can go in and buy some snacks, use the restroom, get fuel for your car. You fill your car up with gas, but that's about it. They might have a few hot foods like pizza, probably pretty crappy coffee. A lot of people, at least Americans, don't like to eat at a 7-Eleven. YaWen is saying that is quite different in Taiwan. She says you can deliver and pick up packages, which reminds me of the post office. Americans will go to the post office to do that. You can buy movie tickets at a 7-Eleven. No, can't do that here in the United States. Could order a taxi, print documents. Yeah, not like that here in the United States for 7-Eleven. I have seen some videos. I think Mikey Chen, I'm not sure if you follow that YouTube channel, or Living Bobby, where they have gone to parts of Asia. I think it was either Japan or Korea or maybe both. And the 7-Elevens there were insanely good. And it makes me want to visit a really good 7-Eleven. But if you're used to having a really good 7-Eleven in the country that you live in, if you come to the United States, just be prepared. It's not the same place at all. Pretty basic, we might say. YaWen, thank you so much for your detailed answers. If you would like to send me your answers, you can leave them in the comment, and maybe I'll do a different culture in another video. I would love that. This was a lot of fun. If you like this kind of lesson and you still want to learn English, look right up there, because I did a lesson about the painter Monet. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.